Hi Stampin' friends! Tonight we're going to use the New Horizons Designer Series paper. It is one that most of the pieces look like a horizon. They look like, I'm looking at most of them honestly, look like horizon in the mountains more so than other places, but I'm going to go over a few of them. I don't think we have the patience to look through all of them, but just kind of to give you some ideas of how to use this paper if you don't have the stamp set. So let's see, I did want to read you the colors that are in it just so that you would know. Here's what the front of mine looks like. It's Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. Now for me, there is definitely Night of Navy in a lot of these and several other colors. So that's just kind of a starting point for this paper. So let's go ahead and look at some of these. Okay, so just kind of scrolling through this, you can see that this one is one that I wanted to mention because I don't really think it is necessarily a horizon photo. But if you cut it here, this could be the horizon. It's kind of an interesting one because some of the others look exactly like a horizon. Now the back side of this is the Pale Papaya, and I actually think it coordinates nicely with, for example, this one. So I seldom get my sentiments stamped on straight in the first place, but I think it will be really easy to use this Pale Papaya piece to stamp and then place it down here on this edge because I think it will blend nicely into that spot. Now, I do think that a lot of times there's a direction to the paper. So like with this one, I want to pick something that looks like the horizon as I go to stamp that, which we'll do in a bit. There is a particular piece that I think looks like, oh, I don't have this straight, I apologize. I think this looks like a galaxy kind of paper. Kind of looks like you would use it for outer space more so than an actual horizon. But you could also tear this across here, put it on white, and use that for even a wintertime sky. So I think that could be really cute. So that is one way to use this. Now this one, you could probably do the same thing and use it as a sunset, like a tropical sunset. Okay, and we talked about that one. Now this one is a great mountain lake type style design. And then this one, which I've already done a little out of, is more of, in my opinion, more of a prairie kind of look. You could certainly chop it right here, and that would definitely look like sky, and this part wouldn't really need to be part of your particular card. Okay, then this one to me is definitely a lake. It almost looks like there's nothing but lake. Here's one that definitely looks like evergreens in the background. And we've got some more of those. This is one again, I mean, this one is so colorful. I kind of see it using it more as a kind of a side piece there. Now to me, this one is the only one under the bunch that looks tropical. So that is probably what I have planned for this one. This one, again, I think it could be kind of fun to stamp and put a flower here on the side, just as if it's in a meadow. So that's probably what I will plan for this one. And then same here, like we've got a river going here, some pretty sky, and then evergreens. Same thing here. And so I think I've covered kind of a general idea of how these are. There's just, those are definitely wintertime mountains. And in a couple of different ways, I think you could put them as mountains. You could do it this direction and make it look like it's a frozen lake along the edge. So, and even some on here almost even look like buildings. So lots of different variety, and you could easily make almost the same card and just cut it on different spaces and make the card look totally different. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to try with you was this one. I put it on this polished pink, and then I just want to stamp it with the stamp set Timeless Tropical. So I'm going to use, I hope I get it inked up well enough, I'm going to use my palm trees, and then I'm going to use the Rest and Relax, You Deserve It. Now the question is going to be is if I'm going to have to re-stamp this on another piece of this paper and then punch it out. Totally possible. So we will see. I'm using my Memento Black. Not that it would matter. You could use any black ink or you could use Stays On. I typically have my Memento ink handier just because I don't use my Stays On as much anymore now that we have the blends. Okay, I'm going to turn this around my direction real quick just for my own whatever, and then I'm just going to stamp this right along the edge. And I hope I didn't just rock it and catch an edge. I didn't. So you can see that just kind of fades there. So it's just kind of different with the with this paper. Oh, I'm gonna need to make sure that it's stuck better. Really don't want it to fall off. Oh, this is May Your Birthday Be Memorable. Not what I was going for there, but I guess totally fine. That will make a cute card. And I probably won't get it straight, but we will see. It's got a little slight slide to it, but I may wait till later, or let's see here if I can grab it. No, that's not it. I kind of want to use the exact same one. There we go. Just so I can kind of see what I think about punching it and then putting it on there. I'm going to punch it with the tailored tag punch. Just going to kind of stamp it right there in generally the same spot that I cut. And then as you can imagine, I still have this bottom half. Even after I take this out, I can either make a stamp that goes, a card that goes with the horizon instead of an up and down one with this. I just want to make sure I get this straight because I can still manage to mess this up sometimes. I'm using the bottom of the B and the bottom of the E, and then the top of the M and the top of the R. Whoops. That's new. Haven't had that problem before. There we go. Oh, I just need to get rid of that thing. Those can sometimes slip and cause a problem. Okay. So now, what I will do on this is just pop it up and it will be exactly, well, let me go ahead and put them on there. Put it on dimensionals and then it will be exactly the way I want it. You can imagine it'll be perfectly straight. And it does kind of repeat there where I stamped it, but I think that just kind of adds. So this one I think will be really simple and really easy to use. If you were going to give this to a man, you might use orange instead of pink, or you might even use this Evening Evergreen. Just another option. There's that choice. And then what I did with this one was kind of different. I stamped it with some of the trees from the Peaceful Deer stamp set. And that's a Christmas stamp, like this. And I just stamped them here over on the side. And then I thought I could use sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. I got that from the new set, In the Moment. So it has these, you're in my thoughts, and you're always so good to others, be good to yourself. It's kind of a self-care sort of stamp set. Yeah. Hi, Diane. It's great to see you. So you can see that that's where I got that one, and I just stamped it in Night of Navy and put it on there. So let me go ahead and show you how I stamped these. One thing you might want to do is not, let me get it up there where you can see it, is not even use the bottom, because the bottom, we typically do that on like in black, or maybe don't even use that with our snow. So that might be something to consider there. You may not want to have that there. So let me find that particular piece. Well, that'll be like a needle in a haystack, won't it? I wonder where I put it. I was trying to keep them all handy for me. Oh, here it is. I did this one going the other direction, just so I could have an option. So kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another here. And on this one, I cut that part off down here. Oops, sorry, I need to get it where you can see it. I cut that part off on this particular one. But I'm gonna do this one and just kind of stamp a few trees up in here. So I used garden green for this because I thought it brought out, you really couldn't honestly see the evening evergreen very well. So this over here is almost just even gray. So I wanted to put it there. Might be a good idea to not have this quite such a dark line here. So I'll just kind of clean that off. It'll still be there a little bit, but maybe not quite so boldly. Put one there. And then put a couple over here. You certainly wouldn't have to do this. You wouldn't even necessarily need to do this to create the look. I was just kind of trying something different. And of course, if you had the stamp set, that would be super cute as well. What I'm going to do here is just add some smaller ones from that same set. And as I'm inking this up, I'm just avoiding that bottom line just because I don't necessarily think I need it. Just do one more. Okay, so there you can see how I just added a few trees and made it look even more so like it was a horizon picture in the mountain. So then what I would do with this one is basically the same thing I did with the other one, and then just add my little relax here. And on this one, what I was wanting to kind of show you is I can put it in the exact spot that it was on the paper, and if you do that, it will really blend in nicely. And then all I'll have to do is maybe pop that up on dots and on our dimensionals, and that will really look like it's just smooth and part of the designer series paper itself. So that's another technique that you can use when you have this kind of paper. All right, so we tried those two, and the next thing that I'm going to do is just kind of just showcasing the different ones that there are. This one looks nice, I think, with the Night of Navy, and then I've got it layered onto, of course it's not going to stay neatly because I didn't glue it down, but layered onto the fresh freesia, and that really makes the colors in here pop nicely. Now, one thing I liked about this is it's just a little bit, what would the word be? It's kind of quiet, I guess. So I thought it might be a good one to use. You could either stamp it on this similar paper or necessarily on the part that you've cut off, because you know each one of these we're going to get a 2-inch off the side that we can use for something else, or we can make a whole nother card out of, or we can put it on the inside. I think that could be really cute, put it on the inside of the card. So what I was going to do on this one was just to try a With Sympathy, and maybe I'll do a little better since I have a clear stamp on this one. No promises. I just put that right up here. Oh yeah. So there you can see. I think I do kind of like having a very simple sympathy card, and I think that looks very striking and beautiful without a lot of, you know, wouldn't necessarily add a bunch of things to it. I think it's simple and yet it's pretty. So that's that idea. Close that up I may not be finished with it, but just to keep it out of the way. Okay, and this one is the one that looks like kind of a wildflower field. So what I did here was cut off one side of it, and so it left me with a few little tulips or daffodils or whatever they are on the side. Kind of a little bit reminds me of Mitch Park, because where they just have some random flowers out in the middle of the field. But I thought that was really pretty. And so I wanted to show a couple of things with this. You could mount it here on one of the colors that's in the paper, and then place that here on your card base. Then I punched this out of a different one with the die cuts, and then just put this here. So that could be another way. Of course, you probably wouldn't want to use the old olive because it's kind of blends away. But that kind of pulls these two together. And then you would just add maybe a little sentiment along the bottom. Something, you know, whether it's a birthday or whatever. But that also would look good, I think, on this one. Because it kind of pulls your eye to, yes, this is what we're looking at, the pretty flowers. So as you put that on, you could, and I think this actually would look better on the green, since to match our, to match our little scalloped circle, I think that, you know, matching those together looks nice. So then basically when you choose a spot to put this, you kind of just want to put it in whatever place looks the most boring to you. So like maybe you would put it over here, maybe you would put it down here, just kind of up to you. Now, certainly on this one, I think I would want to add some more of our ribbon, some of the fresh freesia ribbon, maybe across the bottom like this, and then just do a tie like this, like we always do. And I don't want to tie it too tight because I want to be able to slide it when I'm ready to. Go. And I can also cut it shorter when I'm ready as well. But then just kind of tuck that under there, and it will give it kind of a pop of color. And so that's kind of the way I would use this. And then I would probably try to find the smallest sentiment I could to put down at the bottom, just so that it doesn't, so that people's eyes can really enjoy the all the things that are going on in this paper. So, okay, so we used this one, and then we showed this one, using basically the same little focus piece. And then we also used the super incredibly simple sympathy card. And then I showed you the one where it's going horizontal with the added tree stamped on from another set. And then the one that's going vertical with the sentiment and the added tree stamped on. And then this one with the popped up, may your birthday be memorable, and the stamped on palm trees, because I think this one really looks tropical. So lots of possibilities with this paper. I really enjoyed seeing the paper cut up into pieces and spread out, but I didn't want to do that because I had just done that with the tulip paper. So certainly, if you used also the bay window card, I've seen a couple of those with this paper, where it splits the paper up so that it is, what would you say that's called? So it has like it's looking through a window. So that looked really nice as well. That's the one that we did with the windmill on it. So you might try that if you have this paper. So I appreciate you all watching, and I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.